Hello friends, today in this tutorial we will be talking about a new event inside the JavaScript which is very much responsible for form validation. So basically this event is called as onInvalid. So basically whenever inside your form some value is invalid, this automatically triggers this event. So the name of this event is onInvalid. So basically you can even attach it as an attribute and also using JavaScript also. I will be showing you both the ways here. So let me just declare a simple form here. So basically this form will be this form here, and inside this form guys, first of all I will take a very simple input field out there. So here you can even just enter your username. So I will simply placeholder, I will say enter the username. So on the right hand side you will see that here you can enter your username. This is a field out there, you will see that. And basically after this we will have a simple button to submit the form here. So the we will simply say here register. So basically we will have this button of register. So you can see if I click this button, the form auto completes, you can see. So in order to prevent the auto completion of the form here, we need to attach a attribute which is very much required for this validation, which is on invalid. You need to provide this required parameter. So this makes it very much required. You need to write this value, so it will basically this show you that please fill out this field. So now what will happen guys, let's suppose I want to attach this attribute which is called as on invalid. So basically this is the HTML5 attribute which is there for every input field out there for form validation. So I will attach this attribute. So what it basically does guys, and here you can simply write any sort of alert message that we can simply write enter the username. So basically it will trigger every time if the user doesn't fill out this field or if the value is invalid. So in this case, if I doesn't fill out this field and click the register button, so this will trigger this attribute, this will trigger this message enter the username. So this will become true, so the value will become invalid. So if I click register, you will now see inside our alert statement enter the username, and after that our form validation attribute will occur like this. So basically you can even say that this is just this required attribute that you attach here. We have, if you don't provide this required attribute, then it will not work. This is a thing that you need to notice. If I click register here, the form will submit. So in that scenario, this on invalid will not occur. So for this to run, you need to attach the required attribute, which is the HTML attribute for form validation. So you need to attach this attribute. So now if you click register, you will get your custom message that you want to show to the user. So this is very much useful in those situations when you want to show custom message to the user. You don't need to rely on the default message. So you can basically also attach it using dynamically. Let's suppose I want to attach it using JavaScript. So what I will see is that I can simply basically give it an ID of a username, and now we can basically get this input. We can target this using document.get element by id. We will provide the id here, and after this we will attach this event as it is on invalid. You can see that this is the first approach. We can attach it, and basically here you can write a callback function here, arrow function, and here you can say please enter the username. You can even write like this, so you can see that. So this will occur. So now you can just remove this here like this. You can see that. So now there is no attribute out there. So basically again, if I click this register button, you will now see please enter the username. You can see that. You can even change this in shorthand symbol. If you don't want to write like this, you can even write like this. This also means the same thing. Click register, you will now see please enter the username. And the third way by which you can attach this attribute, basically you can use the add event listener, and we have got the element, so we can simply add event listener, and then we can attach this event. So the event name is invalid. So inside your arrow function you can just make a separate function. Let's suppose custom validation. I make this function, so I need to now define this function custom validation. So inside this we will simply say that please enter the username like this. So now you can see that, guys, what is happening here. So basically we are calling this function, custom function that we have made here, custom validation. So here if I click register, you will now see, please enter the username. And now let me show you a second scenario, guys. So let's suppose you want to uh, have a different input field out there, which is where you can even write email addresses. So this also works for this also. So here I can provide the ID of email. So what I will do, basically we will change this ID to email, and we will attach this. So we will say, please enter correct email. You can now see what will happen now. Basically, if you now enter any invalid one, you can see, please enter correct email. So this will trigger this value. Will now see. So this on invalid works for all the input fields, email, text, number, all that stuff. Let me also show you one more validation, min max. So let's suppose I can even write only the minimum characters should be 3 and maximum should be 6. So in between these two, we need to write these characters of username. So what will happen now if I now target this username and again call this function? So we will say, we will just change this message, please enter the username in between 3 and 6 characters. So this is very useful for form validation, guys, if you want to show custom messages. So if I fill out the email address and if I say one character only, you will now let me see, minimum and maximum. So you will see that if I write this, sorry, let me refresh this. So I think, let me see why it is not executing this function. So it should execute. So this basically, you can see that, guys, we have attached this invalid event listener here. So we are getting the reference of the username. So in this case, I have shown you guys, this is the on invalid event listener inside our JavaScript. Basically, this can be used for printing out custom error messages when you are doing any sort of form validation with input fields in HTML. So thank you very much. Please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well.